Y'all. Hey, happy Monday, April the 14th. If sometimes Mondays are days that you dread and you need to put it into a different perspective to enjoy it or just look at it in a positive light, then this session is for you. I'm Crystal Taylor, the owner and CEO of Fitness is Not a Game, and also the creator of the Monday Messages affirmation cards where we focus on mindset. So, what card are we going to get today? What I like to do, this deck has 52 cards in it. 52 different sayings. And I like to just shuffle up to see what the ancestors want us to know today, right? I've never come in prepared. Just go see what they want us to hear. If you here with me now, say hey. And if you are catching this on replay, do me a favor and type replay in the chat. All right, let's see what the message is today. Ooh, come on, somebody needs to hear this. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Look. I don't know who needs to hear this, but sometimes we have these goals in our minds, right? But we don't have the discipline to follow them. And for me, what I honestly believe also is that you may say it's a goal, but if you don't have the discipline to actually follow those steps, then it's just a wish. You have to ask yourself, are you committed or are you just interested in it, right? If you're actually committed, then you're going to have that discipline to say, you know what, I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock and I'm going to get my workout in. You know what? I am going to bypass that drive through and just go home and have me a prepared meal. You know what? Instead, I'm going to have water. Instead, I'm not going to put as much cheese on there. Instead, I'm not going to have the extra large and add all of the doggone sugars, right? It's about having that discipline so that you can get to your goals. You can't say that you have a goal if you're not willing to put some type of sacrifice. We hear the word sacrifice and we feel like it's harsh and it's heavy and it's a lot. But no, it's really about saying, you know what? Maybe you're sacrificing who you used to be. And that's the comfortability in that, right? That doesn't mean that you have to give up something that you absolutely love, but sometimes you have to give up that idea, right? You have to give up the idea that everything is going to be super duper easy and work the way it had been before, because now you realize you have to be disciplined to make those changes because you say you have goals and you want to achieve them. And what we know is that the more we achieve our goals, the more of an addiction it becomes, right? So now I also encourage you this. If you feel that discipline is hard because your goal is too grandiose, then break it down into something that's more minute. Instead of looking at the big goal, ask yourself, what are some smaller things that I can do? Because those small goals lead to huge impact, huge rewards, right? Huge wins, right? So when you have that discipline to do at least the smaller things first, guess what? Now you're building that habit, and guess what? You're going to accomplish that goal. But you have to be disciplined enough to even go through that process to say, I have this goal, not my wish. I have a goal. So I'm going to be disciplined enough to even think about what my strategy should be to get that. It's not about just consistency. We do have to be disciplined. We do have to make sure we're getting sleep. We do have to make sure we're getting enough water. We do have to make sure that we are constantly learning and educating ourselves. We do have to be intentional about getting outside, moving our body, getting vitamin D, eating a balanced meal, taking supplements if needed. That's the type of discipline we need so that we can get to those goals. All right. And discipline does not mean perfection. Please don't believe that. You know, we feel that it's about perfection, and if we don't do it just so, then we may as well not do it at all. That is not the case. Discipline and consistency, the cousins, right? They're sister cousins. So in the sense where they work together, where discipline means that even if today it didn't work the way you wanted to or the way you planned on it, guess what? Tomorrow you're going to try again because you're disciplined enough to say, you know what? I want to reach that goal. I want to accomplish that goal. All right. So if you needed that, to hear that, to be more disciplined, to make those decisions that are going to get you closer to the goals that you say you have, drop a 100 in the chat. If you know that there's somebody who needed to hear this message and they may have missed out, post it yourself, send it out, tag your people. But I know this is good for me. Because sometimes we do say, you know what, I have a goal, I have a goal, I have a goal. And then we make up so many excuses to why we didn't reach them or why we can't focus on them today, right? And then today turns into tomorrow, into a week. But we have to make sure that we're staying disciplined. Ask yourself, but first you do have to ask yourself, what are my true goals? And am I interested or am I committed to it? And if you're committed to it, then you have to have that discipline. All right. So I'm Crystal Taylor. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go. That was my soapbox for this Monday morning. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Again, if you enjoyed this message, if you need it, drop a 100 in the chat. Make sure you tag your friends, share it out. I will see you again next Monday. And who am I? Crystal Taylor, the owner and CEO of Fitness is Not a Game and the creator of your Monday Messages affirmation card. So y'all be good. Have an amazing day. Keep drinking your water. And I will see you again next week. Bye, y'all.